Leif Erickson is the Executive Director of YCS, or Youth Community Service, an organization dedicated to building bridges between the diverse communities in Palo Alto and East Palo Alto through engaging young people in service opportunities. It's based on the belief that community service can be a powerful, even transforming experience.
Can you give me some examples of either specific programs or even better, projects or even moments within projects that really kind of bring it all to life, that are good examples of what you do?
One example is our summer service program, and we have that's for middle school students from East Palo Alto and from Palo Alto who sign up for a 2-week session. It's like a summer camp session, and they pick an area of interest. So they might pick the area of environmental service, and they would be on a team of eight students, some from East Palo Alto, some from Palo Alto, and every day they would go out to a different location. They might go to Half Moon Bay, work with the rangers to do beach cleanup, or go up to an environmental service site in Hunters Point in San Francisco. And in each case, they're learning from the rangers or the agency people, and they're so they have a sense of what an 11-year-old can contribute in these different areas, and they're building up these relationships, these friendships with kids that they might not otherwise meet from another community.
How does that work? How does that go on? You have the East Palo Alto and Palo Alto kids thrown together. Tell me about a day in the life of what happens.
Yeah, it takes preparation, it takes training for the staff so that we can facilitate positive interactions and bring out the cultural assets that the kids from each community. We might have some kids with a Tongan family background, or a Latino family background, or a background from Asia or China or India. And so it's a very rich mix of people, but it takes some guidance by the staff to bring that out in positive ways so that we all appreciate each other.
Examples.
An example is the radio station. You know, you have a van with 8 kids. They're headed to Half Moon Bay to do a beach cleanup. Whose music do you listen to? And so in some cases it's who's sitting shotgun, who's in the front seat.
Which
but we
every
try to
family also deals with this, right?
Exactly, exactly. And so that's a learning, a teachable moment. Is, you know, we're going to listen to one kind of music on the way over and another kind of music on the way back, and if we've never heard that kind of music before, we begin to appreciate it. So music sounds trivial, but it's really about the cultural differences that people might not otherwise have experience with.
Let's talk about service in general. What does that do for kids?
I think it can take them out of themselves. You know, if I'm making the commitment to go every week and read a book to a preschool student, and they look at me with those big eyes, you know, that they look up to me, that gives me a different sense of who I am. And I want to make sure that if I've made this commitment to those little guys, that I'm going to be there every week. And so I have a connection with the community. I've learned about those kids, who they are, why they need me, what the value is of me going every week to read to them. So it gives me a different sense of connection, and I'm appreciative for just showing up. I don't have to get a grade on that or you know, do a lot of homework. I just show up, do the service, and I'm appreciated, get a different sense of myself, and there's a lot of value in that.
What do you think is most misunderstood about, well, either the two different communities or the kids themselves that you work with?
I think there's a lot of fear. I think a lot of people are afraid of young people, period, or they're not sure. You know, you see a group of kids in a store, and older folks might back away from them if they're kind of noisy. So there's fear to begin with of younger people in general. But then in particular, there's fear across the freeway, you know, and that's a two-way fear, where kids might be afraid to go into the other community because of the way they're going to be perceived, or afraid that the way they're going to be judged. So by building those relationships, we overcome those fears. And we don't do it by rescuing, we do it by serving together and appreciating each other and arguing about what music you listen to on the radio.
Right.
The cultural differences and the challenges faced by these very different communities can be large. It takes considerable ingenuity and effort to build the successful bridges and requires enormous dedication from the entire staff.
So that's all of that is a lot of work. Why do you do it?
The rewards of working with the young people are definitely worth it, and it's also the pleasure in bringing diverse organizations, adults, young people, communities together, and seeing them begin to fit and respect each other is very rewarding work, and so it means a lot of meetings, a lot of running around in the car from one very diverse group to another, but when they all come together like they do on some of our service days, it's very rewarding.